Right, next lot of spoilers, and I got to say, one of these things is not like the other, right? And this is sort of where rarity is starting to really get lost on me, because what's really the distinction other than just gating cards from players, right? We all fully understand that there is hardly anything in a box, and even LSS, really starting to emphasize that they understand that it's really just there for people to break down and supply singles to the market or play limited, which is fine, fantastic. But yeah, this effect is very, very uncomparable to the rest of the specialized helmets for one big sole reason, and that is it's ongoing. You can use this as many times as you have gold. So destroy a gold you control. Next attack this turn gets when this attacks hero wager, right? It's a decent effect. Obviously, if you lose the wager, it has downside, so that's fine. But it's not, again, from my perspective, comparable to the other, and that sort of just makes rare in itself this weird idea. Same with the legendary shield. Every person who plays Victor will want this shield because it just fits his bill so well. So why gate it behind legendary? It's just an odd conundrum, right? Again, with the overall increased incentive on just play over all the other aspects of the game. But yeah, some cool new stuff, some cool new toys, raw meat to begin with. So this is the last set of the whole, if you've got these two different tokens, you've got 2 defense. So this is agility and might. 4 brutes, definitely just draftable, right? Never going to see proper use. There's just other better cards in the slot, right? Then, of course, we have Golden Glare and the new Betsy helmets. So it seems like everyone is getting a specialized helmet. So when this defends together with 2 or more yellow cards, create a gold token, and then Blade Break, right? So again, singular use. Defend with 2 yellows, and you get some gold to cash in. Fair enough. Again, weaker in power, I would say. Probably an easy toolkit, right? Again, something accessible for anyone who does want to play Victor, but there are better options. Now, again, with Betsy's, I would argue that this is probably the better option, even against Arcanite Skullcap, Crown, or even the new draw one, right? Simply because of its ongoing use. Its requirement isn't too hard. Again, you're going to be playing a lot of wager, and you still have temper. So you can still block 2 at the very least, and then gain as much benefit from its effect as you want. You can just really double down with the wager mechanics. Probably end up taking it on Shiner, because again, it combos fantastically with using Betsy's specialization and Olympia's together, right? Just another wager to buff up. I think that's going to be the overall goal, is just the biggest wager attack you can get on Shiner, and then use up the ante. And then again, on Betsy, as long as you have gold, this enables your hero ability. It's just a no-brainer to always use as Betsy because it's just so versatile. Other than that, I think these are some new cards. I should really just be using the Reddit. That's probably the easiest way to know what's actually new, so I don't re-talk about something. Okay, so we have down but not out. Red 5, when this attacks hero, if you have less life and control for your equipment / token. So you've got to meet both requirements, not one or the other. Now, equipment and tokens is and, so that is a little bit better. This is probably a melody card, right? Because most scenarios you are going to be less health, and you will, if you cash out your equipment, you will have less equipment. The gold or silver tokens is probably the issue there, but otherwise it could be decent. Again, combine it with, say, last-ditch efforts to really just have something after the final act chain, right, if they still survive. I think that's a good countermeasure. Might be a bit too slow in Blitz, but we'll have to see. Seduce Secrets. Now, this is probably an auto-include, so look at the target's hand and top card of their deck. So a little bit of scouting, it's fantastic. And then if this was played from the arsenal, draw a card. Nice and simple. Melody, no-brainer, stick in your arsenal. Get 1 extra card for your whole draw combo. I think easy peasy. Right, turns the arsenal slot into 1 in hand, which is definitely super impactful, again, for the draw chains, and obviously pitching into final act. So yeah, I would say this is an auto include, just another way to bump up consistency, get it early, stick in the arsenal, and then just proc it, done, and just thin out your deck more. Pound Town, beat chest. When this attacks, if you beat chest this turn, create a might token, 3 for 7, so decent. Now, I totally missed this the first time I went over beat chest, but it's you may discard a card. You don't have to discard a card, which is quite interesting. So you could even use this as, a finisher for your turn and not actually proc the beat chest mechanic, or just use it as, self-inclusive, right? Beat chest first, and then procs its own mechanic. It all depends on how exactly the tokens speed up brute, right? With enough vigor, quicken, or agility, I should say. Agility was go again. I believe. No, that's the wrong way. Agility was some form of go again. right? So if you can really increase your tempo and, you know, start getting 2 attacks out, 3 attacks, then yeah, I can definitely see that just as a finisher without proccing the big chest. So for the simple fact that it's versatile, right, it's going to be a good card. Nasty Surprise. When an opponent's effect puts this into your graveyard from anywhere, create an Agility, Might, or Vigor token. Great counter to Assassin. Very inconsistent though. Stick in your arsenal, Beta, Command and Conquer maybe. Middle round, right? Again, it probably just really depends on matchups, though the upside to it would be, you know, quite substantial. Otherwise, it's just a blue pitchable, which is, you know, decent. So more to me, it screams interesting design, right? Nice little new fun mechanic to play around with. Prime to Fight. If you controlled a Vigor token this turn, right? So again, if you've already procced it, doesn't matter. This costs 1 less to play. So if you had Vigor, this is, in a sense, a 3 for 9, right? Which is fantastic. And then you have, if you control a Might token this turn, gets +1, which again, Might procs. So it's now, if you have both, a 3 for 11. Yeah, that's a great Guardian card. Too bad it's not specialized. That'd be fantastic in China. Yep, we've already gone. Do we over the headpiece? I think we went over the headpiece. Right, okay, this is Cast Eyes. We'll go back to Fabry since I can look at the card in full. So this is on attack. I am trying to remember as I look for it. So banish a red and yellow card from graveyard. Destroy this. Target sword gets when this hits. Draw a card. Overall, fairly decent. There's just better consistent ways to, well, get a card off their head slot, as we've seen. So I do think it's just more on the draftable side. It could have some fun interaction and play. You can still block with it as Battle Worn. But again, it's not as huge of upside as Betsy's. None of the headpieces I say are really, but it's still just a fun, interesting card. Again, it seems like there are just a lot of equipment that are nice alternatives, cheaper alternatives, hopefully, because they're rare. But for anyone min-maxing, it's probably not going to be completely impactful. Then we have Draw Sword. Next warrior attack this turn gets +3. Draw a card. Go again. Just some more fleshing out their toolkits. I think it's fairly decent. It's not an attack reaction, so the opponent can expect it, but this comboed with an attack reaction, especially because the draw card, depending, you know, pays for some of its costs at the very least, right? Decent. Shift the Tide of Battle. Target warrior attack with greater than its base gets go again. Next time an opposing hero is dealt damage this turn, create an agility token. Pretty decent attack reaction. Allows you to chain without having to get an on-hit effect, and then you get the agility for another chain next turn if you actually do hit. But wait, it's even better because just hero is dealt damage this turn. So whether or not this is the attack that deals the damage or the next attack, you can benefit from the agility token. So this is a pretty good from my perspective. Okay, Golden Glare, Victor's specialization. When this defends together with 2 or more yellow cards, create a gold token. I think we already went over with this. Just simplistic, feeds into his mechanic, but depending on the matchup, you probably aren't always going to go for that, right? Sometimes you just want the 2 block. You don't really want to feed the cards as well. So just toolkit variety. Prized Gallia. Olympia specialization. Attack reaction. Pay 1. Destroy this. Target weapon attack you control wages a gold token with the defending hero. Temper, so you can block with it twice or once and then use its effect. Again, fairly decent. Feeds into his mechanic. Still waiting to see if he actually has a proper gold sink like Kasai and technically Victor. And I suppose now like Betsy. So hopefully he does. And there's a proper payoff for all the gold you can generate other than just drawing. And I think no, we did go over Knucklehead last time though. Pay up. If the defending hero controls gold, this gets overpower. When this hits a hero, gain control of gold token they control. If you don't, deal 1 damage there, right? So just another sideboard interaction for the popular decks of the time. Once, you know, gold sort of cycles out, then it loses its effectiveness. Definitely less than, say, Mischievous Meeps, because items are always going to be an underlying factor for some decks. Obviously, some decks run no items, some decks run a lot of items, but you have the upside of drawing a card, whereas this is, if they don't, just deal 1 damage to them. So pushing 1 damage in, say, Classic Constructed isn't as great, but still a decent card for the set. Salt and Battery. Beat Chest. When this attacks, if you've been chest this turn, create an agility token. Isn't this just the same? No, this is Pound, but with agility instead of might, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll probably get one for Vigor, in which case I'd probably say the Vigor or the agility one is going to be more impactful than might. Obviously, the damage is good, but planning for you next turn in Classic Constructed, I think, is a bit more impactful. Clash of Agility. When this defends clash with the attacking hero, the winner creates an agility token for Brute and Warrior. So you have a fairly decent attack, 2 for 6, and then also a defend interaction of clashing, which is kind of really decent, right? Because this allows you to stop running so many defense reactions and run more attacks that have a benefit to defending as well, which is interesting because between that and the block mechanic, right, defense reactions are kind of getting overshadowed, with the only real advantage being the whole arsenal use. But there is so many other things that you kind of want to do with your arsenal, and because of their one dimensionality, right, you can't play it into something, you can only pitch it or defend with it, they might just get completely eclipsed if we continue on this trajectory. Big bop at the start of your turn, destroy this. Then the next Guardian attack this turn gets +5, and when this attacks a hero, you may wager Vigor with them. More aura generation, great, decent, and comparable to a lot of the other buffs, but in this case you get the wager mechanic, which I value Vigor pretty highly, right, for feeding into it. Again, it's sort of a replacement for Betsy and Victor over Seismic Surge. Then you take this and say to Bravo or Valda, and this comboed with Seismic Surge tokens, you now go for a lot of those heavy attacks a lot more easily. Vicious Engagement. Target warrior attack gets +3. It's defended by an attack action card. Create a Vigor token. Niche, but definitely usable, especially if we see, you know, again, a large amount of decks coming from heavy hitters where they're focusing on attacking, less so than defending with actual block or defense reaction cards. Agile Engagement. Target warrior attack gets +3. It's defended by an attack action. Create an agility token. Same sort of thing, just different token. Tenacity. When this stacks, it gets +X, where X is the number of defending cards on the combat chain. So this can be a very nice finisher to a turn. Now, I would say it really depends on what happens with the current state of the game, right? We're entering into a lot more focus on draw. So if that overall increases the hand size, right, this could be a fairly decent finisher if you're really pressuring a turn, right? You can take everything they're doing to stall you into a huge 0, possibly 7, 8 attack. Now you have to clarify for me. This says defending cards, so does that count equipment? I don't think it does. If it does, then that's even more bonkers. Over the top. If this has greater than its base, it gets overpower, 3 for 6 with potentially overpower. Decent. Raw Meat, already went over. Clash of Might, when this defends, clash with the attacking hero. Again, an attack that has a defense interaction. So I think it's a no-brainer to include in, obviously, Clash decks or even the new Wager decks. It's just a lot more versatile for what you're actually trying to do and continuing to pressure damage while still having decent defense options. And then I think, no, Flat Trackers is new. Destroy this, create an agility token. I think we saw the other one as well, which was just destroy this Might. Right, so there's one more to come for Vigor, unless it's down here. No, and then we're onto the spoils from previous. Just scroll through, make sure I haven't missed anything. So Gauntlets of Might is the Might one. The Flat Trackers are the Agility one. Got it. And then there should be one more for Agility somewhere. So I think that is everything. We're still probably most interested in the expansion slots, are we not? Right? Who else is getting a cool new support? And we also have these cards that we don't know where they're slotting in yet. But yeah, definitely some fun spoilers. Still waiting for a handful more generics to really see where Melody's going. I mean, Tenacity off of Final Act is still also a decent finisher because you'll force a lot of blocking with Final Act. So there's definitely some good cards for Melody. Definitely some great cards for Cheyenne, right? If they keep up with this level of specializations, Cheyenne needs an adult. Right? It'll just be so fun in Classic Strike. It won't be busted. It'll just be fun and interesting matchup. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.